Makadi mose muri Zimbabwe usana zvekare pano pachivhitivhiti chenyu paTV yenyu paTV yenyika patinenge tichikupai nyaya nemalatest updates anenge achiitika munyika yeZimbabwe. Mamiriro zvakaita muri Zimbabwe ndeyekuti tarisivha kanotification tine kamwe kainformation katinako katarisivha hatina kuzopiwa yacho iri sensitive but tapuwa kalitu tapuwa kadiki diki kekuti tingokunzwisai. Zviri kunzi kune meeting yakaitwa manje manje kwanga kune macomrades akafanana na ana matatu ana comrade Ashawo Tatafumanei nemamwe macomrades vane mazvigarowo zviri pamusoro soro nemamwe mabrigadier generals. Zviri kunzi meeting yakanga ichiitwa meeting yekuongorora nyaya yeconstitution iri kutaurwa naeMasodanzo Mnangagwa. Saka zviri kunzi mapoints akariswa ipapo mapoints ari kuenderana nekuti saka imimi muri kutaura kuti ED akaisa third term yake obvisa section 212 nemamwe masection arikuda kubvisa ekuti vanhu vasavhote, nyika inenge ichiri nyika here? Iyo nyika yakagwadama nekuti masoja vanga vachitaura kuti izvozvi Zimbabwe iri kutotadza kuti inyatsoita zvinhu zvinoita kuti vanhu vagutsikane nazvo. Makazoisa bumbiro remutemo iri ndo pazvichaitika here? Saka zviri kunzi kwanga kune makakatanwa. Zviri kunzi vakomana vaibvunza mibvunzo iri general, mubvunzo chaizvi izvinhu zviri kuitika current situation. Zviri kunzi ndo yakanga ichibvunzwa navakomana vachitaura vachiti saka generation yese yemauto ese achatevera vachanga vakamira sei kana pasina chinhu chiri kuchengetedza vanhu. Saka kana isusu tisisachengetedze vanhu zvinenge zvamira sei senyika. Saka ndo pari kutaurwa kunzi vakomana vakanga vachitaura vachiti system iri kuda kushandiswa constitution ndo constitution yange tinayo kare hatichakwanise sezvo taimwe generation kuti tirambe tichishandisa constitution yekare iri kuda kuiswa naED. Saka vakomana zviri kunzi vari kuboyikota amendments aEmasodanzo Mnangagwa. Ndo zvatangoudzwawo kuti vakomana vari kuboyikota. Saka zvakadaro muri Zimbabwe tichapinda macomrades edu tokupa imwe information yavainayo yavari kutaura panapa pari diaspora
that they would they are being said to have sat down and come and then produce those resolutions that are speaking to them, lending their support to this whole thing. And I know others are pushing back and saying no, nothing of that sort happened. The one who produced those resolutions but what actually came out was to say, good, let us wait for the bill to be gazetted, and then we see the substance of what is in there before we proceed. And
They should not even just wait for it to be gazetted.
no,
They should wait for it to go out in the 90 days and come back to them. Vasati motivate how to feel. Their job now is to participate in the public consultations, the hearings, and gather the opinion. Because they are there as representatives. They are not there to represent themselves. They have to wait and see what is, and then go and represent that public.
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much, for that. I do appreciate. Right. Right. Can I go to Real G? Real G, do you want to take the mic?
Yes, thank you very much, Uncle. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, you're loud and clear. Please go ahead.
All right, great. Greetings to everyone. Special greetings to the host. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to discuss such an important issue for Zimbabwe. My view is going to sound like, I'm going to be talking about something that's going to be controversial, both in those who are advocating for this 2030 agenda to go through, and also those who are anti it. Because the way I look at it myself is that when ZANU-PF decided that they needed to suspend elections, from what we're hearing, they need to extend the presidential terms as we are hearing it. ED as the president needs more time to finish whatever he started or whatever he's doing. They already had this plan in motion. And I believe the formal government institutions who are responsible for that process are already in full force trying to make sure that this is achieved. Because knowing ZANU-PF as a party and knowing ZANU-PF as the government, it is very likely that before they come to the people and throw whatever they want to throw at the people, they would have already discussed it. They would already have plans in place. And it's like the majority of the people, the povo, we are watching a delayed match. And with the result is already there. It's already known somewhere. And everything is set for that result to be formalized. By saying that, I'm not suggesting that people should not protest against it because it already be predetermined. The outcome is already there. People can still protest. And there are people right now who have formed organizations like Tendai BT and I think it's Jameson Timber and also other people whose names we don't know, or who are not prominent, who are fighting who are fighting against this agenda. Yes, it's okay. It's fine. They can fight, but let's not rely on the formal processes only. I think there are also some informal processes that Zimbabweans must follow. If I can rewind back to the lady, I think she was the first one to speak. I can't remember the name. She mentioned about the protests, the boots on the ground, people going onto the street and fight and shout and scream and to demand that this agenda should not go through. That should also be another way of fighting this. It has to be a multi-faceted. It has to have many weapons to fight this monster, because as long as I have understood politics in Zimbabwe, the formal processes in Zimbabwe have been captured by the regime. And by saying the formal processes, I mean the route of fighting this agenda via the courts. Because we know that the judges that will sit to hear your arguments, those who are opposing this, those judges are part of the system that we're already fighting. The Constitution, yes, on paper, it looks like, the best thing since sliced bread. But we all know that this Constitution has also been abused, it has also been misused, and it has also been ignored. Whilst this regime is promoting dictatorship, if we look at the elections from 2000, even going far back as 1995, 2000, 2005, 2008, the constitution was there. And from 2000, that's when I became an adult and I started to understand politics as well. From 2000, ZANU-PF has been using unconstitutional means to remain in power. ZANU-PF has been using unconstitutional means to win elections. ZANU-PF has been using unconstitutional means to eliminate political opponents. So this constitution that we are trying to defend today, as much as it is good, as much as it is like the heart and soul of the nation, it is not the constitution that is the problem. It is the people that are abusing this constitution that are the problem. So those are the people that should be removed. Because even if, let's say, we fight and win, and this constitution is not is not amended and it remains what it is today, God knows what it is, that does not stop ZANU-PF and Emerson Mnangagwa to do whatever they want, because they've been doing it anyway, with or without a good constitution. In the last election, it was the most ridiculous, the most shameful election that we've ever witnessed in the history of elections. But they still went on to, to formalize the presidents of Emerson Mnangagwa. 2018, it was the same thing. We saw it live on TV, the constitutional court, whatever when Chamisa went to appeal against the election results, we saw what happened, how it was just rushed through. It was just a formal process. And to them, it gave them the legitimacy, because they would come back to you and say, if you are not happy with the election outcome, you went to court and the court ruled against you. And as a responsible citizen, you have to respect the decision of the court, whether you like it or not. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this process. Tendai BT and his team, Jameson Timber and his team, whoever else is using the court process to challenge this, and I want to be proved wrong. I'll be very happy if I'm proved wrong, but the outcome is already predetermined. The outcome is there, and that is going to legitimize what Mnangagwa wants to do. The problem that we have is the platforms at which, or the rights of the Zimbabwean to protest, is been through the courts, has been captured. So you can't, even parliament, you go to parliament, and I heard people saying, oh, you have to petition your MPs, you have to make much noise on spaces, you have to, they have to come out in the open and say what their position is. They can come here and tell us that, oh, they oppose it. But when it comes to voting, they'll vote, they can vote for ED on the day of voting, if that's the process that's going to be followed. Behind the scenes, they're whining and dining with ED's team. But when they come to you, when they come on these platforms, they pretend like they oppose it when they don't. Anybody who is sitting in that parliament is part of that system that we're fighting, because we know from the day that the election results were declared that this is an illegitimate government. This is an illegitimate process. The election results does not represent the will of the people. So how
So
come?
what are you calling for?
Sorry?
What are you calling for?
Right.
You yourself.
My point is, Uncle, if I can refer back to what I said at the beginning, is yes, it's okay to use a 3-4 pronged attack on this agenda. You can use the formal process, which is to go through the courts, or you can use the process of mass uprisings.
People power.
Yeah, personally, I would advocate for an uprising, because any formal process in Zimbabwe has got a predetermined outcome, because it's a captured. Those spaces are captured by ED's team. There is no way that we can base our hopes on the fact that this is going to go through the courts and we're going to see, it's going to be a fair and a judgment that is going to be pro people, because we cannot trust a government, right, or an institution that formalized and agreed that the 2018 elections were legitimate and the outcome was a, a true and honest and accurate representation of the people's will. These people have been stealing elections. There's no way they can respect a referendum, right? This is an illegitimate government. We are fighting a government that it's like we have a patient who's got cancer, and we are concentrating on vomiting. They've got symptoms of a bug and they're vomiting, and that's where all our efforts are. When the bigger picture, where with the root of the problem is where we're supposed to be focusing on. Because what ED is doing now, this 2030 agenda, these are symptoms of a bigger problem. These are symptoms of an illegitimate government, a, a symptom of dictatorship. So instead of fighting for a constitution to be respected, let's fight the dictatorship. Because what we want is a leadership that respects the constitution. Because today, Uncle, if we, for some reason, we get a constitution from the heavens, Jesus writes a constitution for us, and we put it in Zimbabwe, these guys will not respect it. They've failed to respect their own constitution, because this constitution that is there is a constitution that was written by MDC and ZANU-PF. And the MDC was arm twisted into agreeing to most of these clauses on this constitution. But they've realized that, it's no longer serving, because that constitution was serving Mugabe, but they now want a constitution that serves Mnangagwa.
Right.
And after Mnangagwa is gone, there's going to be another president, another ZANU-PF dictator, who is going to change the constitution to save that same dictatorship. So what we need to remove is the people who are abusing the constitution, not defend this constitution. I actually agree with what Chamisha said, that there's no constitution to defend, because whatever constitution, no matter how good, how perfect it is, it's not going to be respected. England, for example, UK, they don't have a written constitution, but look how the country functions. A constitution is only as good as the people who are using it. If the people who are using it are bad, it's not a good constitution. You can defend it as much as you want, but as long as the people who are abusing and ignoring it and manipulating it are there,
Right.
we still going to get to the same conclusions. These guys have abused. If when election, 2,000 people died during the election. I think it was the first elections, the MDC that participated in 2000, and then the people that died during the 2008 elections, the kidnappings, the electoral fraud, all those things, they happened with a very good constitution. So even if Tendai Biti wins and James Timber and everybody wins against, this constitutional fight, it's not going to stop these people from abusing it. They'll still do it because they've done it. History tells us, and history will repeat itself. And I suspect that by fighting this through the courts, it's going to legitimize what they're doing, because they would say the records are there.
Right. Right. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. The getting woke to our morning. I know